I truly believe that your mindset on money and work is the sole determinant of how much money you're actually going to make in life. There is a good chance that you currently have limiting beliefs that are blocking the flow of money to you. This isn't necessarily as easy as just manifesting money and boom, there it is. You must unlearn your limiting beliefs and then act. After doing this, you will receive. Welcome to the podcast Find Your Power. I am your host, Avery Jane. Today, I really want to dive into the topic of money, your relationship towards it, your mindset towards money, and how this is really truly the thing that's stopping you from making as much as you want to be making. Whether you believe in manifesting or not, this doesn't have to be about manifesting or based around that. It's really simply at the end of the day because your beliefs shape your behaviors and your behaviors shape your outcomes. It's as simple as that. To start off, I do want to talk about how money is emotional. It's not exactly just practical. So, money can buy happiness to a certain extent, in my opinion. That is because money can buy shelter, it can buy food, it can buy health care in the United States at least. This may be different in other countries, but we're not really going to get into that right now. But at the end of the day, I truly think that money can buy a certain kind of happiness to an extent. After a certain point, it can't buy anymore. You do have to be happy with yourself regardless of the money that you have to a certain point. Because once you have enough money to buy you all of those things that you need in life, healthcare, food, shelter, all of that in between, then on top of that, you're not going to be able to spend more money to find that other thing that you're missing in life, whether that's confidence, security in yourself, friendship, love, family, all of that. You can't spend money to buy that. So money is tied to safety, comfort, all of that, but it's not tied to complete utter happiness at the end of the day. It's not 100% guaranteed that if you have a lot of money, you're going to have a lot of happiness. A lot of people have the mindset that they will start spending money and feeling abundant once they have the money. But the truth is, it needs to be swapped. You need to start feeling abundant in life even before you get that money. You need to feel abundant, you need to feel secure in yourself before you have all of the money. Because once you get the money, your emotional state is not really going to change. To an extent, sure, but not completely. You actually start receiving money once you stop treating money like it's scarce or unpredictable. If you're walking around every day thinking that money is scarce, money is unpredictable, you're scared where you're going to make money, you're scared about money in general, you're not going to make it. You have to believe that money wants you. You don't just want money. I know that sounds weird, but if you think about it in that way, it really will come to you. Think about it in a way that you're spending the money that you're going to have. If you're spending money right now that you don't have yet, maybe that doesn't sound like the smartest idea, right? But spending money that you don't have yet with the intention and the plan in mind that yes, I'm going to have this amount of money by a certain time soon, and I have a plan to how I'm going to be making that kind of money, it rewires your brain to think about how much money that you will want to be making in order to live the life that you want to live. If you spend money like your higher self would, buying the things that your higher self would buy. And I'm not talking about going crazy. You don't need to go buy Gucci, Rolex, whatever the heck. Just spending money on things that your higher self would spend money on. Maybe that's an investment that you need to make into yourself. Maybe that's specific clothes that you see your higher self wearing because this higher self has this certain job. And for this job, you need to wear this certain uniform. Maybe it's buying that uniform early before you actually get that job. It's a type of manifestation, yes, but at the same time, it's also a way to rewire your brain to think this is the money that I'm going to need for my higher self and for my future self to be successful. So, this is the type of money that I'm going to be needing to make. I'm going to need to uplevel my salary to be meeting these standards. And that will rewire your brain as well to find a way to make that money. Whether that's getting that higher self job that you have in mind or some kind of side hustle. Of course, be smart with it. Be smart with any kind of ways that you're making income. Be true to yourself in that. If you know what I mean, you know what I mean. I'm not, no judgment, but of course, stay true to yourself, stay true to your morals and how you're making money. But at the end of the day, you're going to rewire your brain in how much money you're going to be needing to make to be successful and live the life that you want to live. Now, on top of rewiring your brain in that sense, you also need to kind of rewire and redirect your limiting beliefs that you have, okay? So if you think of yourself as someone who's always struggling with money or making money, then you will close yourself into this box. If you think that you are somebody who struggles with making money, you will close yourself into this box. Let that resonate with you because I know a lot of people who think that they just have a hard time making a lot of money. They are closing themselves into this box. There's so many ways out there nowadays to make money that you don't even think about, especially if you close yourself into the box that it is hard for you to make money. If you think of yourself more as someone who can make the money easily that he or she wants to make, you can easily make the money that you want to make to live the life that you want to live, then that's going to convince yourself that you can. And when you convince yourself that you can, then you're going to do it in your actions. I want you to right now try and think about a salary amount that sounds like a lot of money to you. Little exercise, okay? Think of this number, just personal number that sounds like a lot of money to you specifically. Some salary amount that you could possibly get to one day, but it would be really hard, really challenging, a lot of effort, and you're not there yet. Think of that number salary in your head. Now, that number that you're thinking of is someone else's salary right now out there. And they are not satisfied with that amount. They still want more. This person is not that different from you. What do they have that you don't have? What can they do that you can't do? They want more. Their current salary is your challenge goal. Let that sink in. Don't stop there. That number, don't stop there. Don't let that be your challenge goal. Think bigger. Why can't you? Why can't you make more than that? That person is really not different from you. Those millionaires out there, those people that are making 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, 50,000 a month, how are they so different from you? They just had an idea or multiple ideas and they acted on it. Other than that, they probably have less schooling than you. Some of them have less schooling than you. Some of them have less talents than you. They also live on this earth. They also worked hard, just like you're working hard. Maybe they worked less hard than you, or maybe they are right now. They also started somewhere small. If this person can have all of that and still ask for more, why can't you? Also, I want you to forget the idea that making money is hard. If you keep that belief, then it's going to be hard for you to make money. Stop thinking that it's hard to make money. Think that money wants you. Another limiting belief that a lot of people have, not everybody, but a lot of people, is that having a lot of money makes you greedy, or people with a lot of money are greedy or selfish. Of course, there's going to be some people out there that have a lot of money and are greedy or selfish, okay? But at the same time, there's people out there that have less money than you do, and they are also just as greedy and selfish. So the money is really not the factor in that. You guys probably saw that Billie Eilish a few weeks ago donated $11.5 million to a charity. And as much as this sounds, that actually wasn't even the total amount that she made from her recent tour. But she still gave away significant amount of money. And I would say that deems her as not greedy and not selfish, giving away her own money, a significant amount, to charity. And she's not the only one who's done that. There are plenty of millionaires, celebrities out there that have given away significant amounts of their money to charities. You can look it up. Ariana Grande, I know she has. I'm pretty sure Selena Gomez has. Like a lot of people out there. You can look up how many celebrities, how many millionaires have given away to charity. Many, many, many. And I would say, of course, that's not the one underlying factor that makes someone deems someone not greedy or not selfish, but this, of course, is a good factor to consider that them having money does not completely make them greedy or selfish. They're willing to give a lot of their money away. The last thing I want to touch on is my own personal experience. Yes, I quadrupled my salary in a year. To be completely transparent, my salary was not so large at all prior to that. So it was very, very minimal. There is that to consider. And at the same time, I did not do this within the same job. But I was working for someone for about a year and a half, making about $10 to $12 an hour. And this was mostly a part time job as well. But I ended up moving for college and I didn't have a job for a few months. When I decided that it was time for me to get a job again, I I took the approach that I wasn't going to settle for something less than I thought I was worth. And at the time, I had really little to no experience under my belt. So I took money from my savings and I took a 4 week course. I invested in myself to take a 4 week course to get me some more experience. I bet on myself, even though I had to pull from my savings. I bet on myself because I trusted myself to get a job that would make back what I was pulling out from my savings very, very fast. So when I went out looking for jobs after I got that course, I think I got the certification, and almost the next day or 2 days later after I got the certification, I went job hunting. And I had already been applying online, but at this point, since I had this certification from this course that I took, I I had the confidence to make a resume with that certification on it and also go into these facilities, walk into the building, resume in hand, dressed proper. That's something. Also, I touch on that a little bit in the preparing for interviews episode that you can check out a few weeks back. Um, but basically, I went in resume in hand, dressed nice, almost like I was ready for an interview, and with confidence approached the managers with confidence. I applied for these positions. When you, even when you don't have so much experience in something, if you go into the facility with confidence, dressed for the part, that's a big one. Dress for the part that you're trying to get. if you do this, they're going to see you as a candidate, as a qualified candidate, even if you're not. And of course, it doesn't work 100% of the time. Yes, sometimes they looked more at my resume than they looked at me and realized that I wasn't quite qualified for the positions that I was going into. But I didn't stop. I kept trying, even though I knew that I didn't completely have all the experience that these people wanted, these managers wanted for people that they wanted to hire. But I still went in there and I still approached with confidence and I still tried to get the position that I wanted. After doing all of this, walking into all of these different facilities with confidence, approaching the managers, like I said, telling them the position that I wanted, I ended up getting 2 interviews for really good jobs. After both interviews, I got offers for a position. It was a hard decision to pick which one I wanted to go with, but I just went with my intuition, went with my gut, and I honestly very happy to this day with the decision that I went with for the job that I picked because I made really good money there. I still work there. It's been a year and a half. That was a year and a half ago when this happened, and I also met my boyfriend there that I still have to this day, and some really great friends, really great people. So I really am happy with this decision that I ended up making with going with that one. But my point of this is that I invested into myself and I made back that money that I spent on investing into myself that I pulled from my savings on that 4-week course. I made back in 2 days of work at this new position. And I didn't even think that that was possible. I thought that the position that I was going to get, I would make back that money in 2 weeks. 2 weeks was what I thought. I made it back in 2 days. And that just goes to show if you really invest in yourself and you really put the effort into getting the job that you want, you can get it. You just have to trust in yourself and you have to believe in yourself because you're the only one out there who can really determine what's going to happen. Also, to rewind a little bit, before I decided to go back out there looking for a job again once I got into college, so after I moved for college and I spent a few months not having a job, when I kind of made that conscious decision a few months into college that I needed to get back out there and find a new job, and I wanted one that paid more than my last one, and I wanted one that resonated with me more. I changed my mindset in the money that I was spending as well. And this might sound crazy, but I started spending money like I had that job already. This might sound crazy and stupid. And honestly, for some people, it might be. And this might be totally not the route that you want to go on. But for me, this worked. For 2 months before I ended up earning this job position, before I even walked into that facility, before I even applied to majority of the jobs that I applied to, I was spending money like I had the job that I was going to get. So even though yes, I was mostly pulling it from my savings, I was still spending money like with the mindset that I was already making that kind of money that I make now and that I made 5 months later. Why did I do that? Honestly, because I trusted and believed in myself that I was going to make it all back. I knew that I was going to get a job that was going to make me that much money that I was spending. I knew it. And how I knew it is just because I trusted in myself. I knew I would do whatever it would take to get to that position that I wanted to be in, to get to making the money that I wanted to make. Whether it was investing in myself through using my savings or walking into these places looking and feeling like an idiot sometimes because I was applying for jobs that I had no experience with, just a 4-week course, yes. But at the same time, I walked in with confidence, I dressed the part, and I handed them my resume and I said, I want this position. And most of the time, I didn't get a call back. Most of half of the times, I didn't get a call back. But 2 times I did, and 2 times I got an interview, and I did get 2 offers at the end of it. I think that about wraps up everything from today's episode. Honestly, I'm probably going to do another money episode because I have a lot to talk about when it comes to this subject, especially because of my experiences, but I also know a lot of other people in my life that can say a lot and have a lot to say when it comes to money and manifesting money and being smart about it. Of course, not just manifestation, but also investment, everything in between. So, I'm definitely going to do future episodes about money, about investing. I know that a lot of people have questions about that, especially if you're in college. You probably could use some advice on that. And it's really helpful to talk to other people about money. I think a lot of times money can be a very touchy subject and sensitive topic, but I don't think it has to be all the time. I think that it's really good that we just talk about it and are more open about it sometimes, because when it comes to being smart with money, I think that we should really talk about it. Sometimes people don't know as much as they think they do, or they wish they did. They feel nervous or unable to talk about it with other people because it seems like such a touchy subject, such a sensitive topic. But I think it needs to be more open conversation, especially when it comes to saving for retirement, investing, savings bonds, CD accounts, all of that in between. I'm gonna make future episodes on that. Of course, I don't know everything either, but I can do my research for you guys as well as pull in some other people to do interviews with and all of that in between. But thank you guys so much for listening. Tune in every Thursday to listen or watch on YouTube and Spotify. Make sure to check out the Instagram at findyourpower_podcast, as well as the TikTok I have is the same username at findyourpower_podcast. Also, feel free to send me DMs through the Instagram if you guys want. I'm going to be doing Q&As, advice sessions, whatever you want to call it, through some episodes. So you can send me questions through there, and I'll collect them to do that. Please feel free to rate the podcast, leave any reviews that you would like. I'm okay with constructive criticism, but please be nice. And leave any comments as well on YouTube or wherever you're watching. And lastly, if you would like to be featured for an interview for the podcast, you can send me an email on the email linked below in the description section. Thank you guys again so much for listening and watching today's episode. I will talk to you again very soon. And don't forget, we will find your power.